guys, it's Panda from Panda Creates Tutorials, and today I am very excited to be making a video of me putting together my brand new tourniquet from Chelsea Blue Designs. Now, Chelsea Blue Designs is an Australian small business that's based out of South Australia, and they are actually also the ones that make my really cool like my tumbler inserts. If you've seen me use them in some of my other videos, they're my stand-ins for like the pool noodles and the footballs that people use to attach their tumblers to the rods. She actually 3D prints a variety of different sizes to pretty much cover any cup size that you need. I do have an extensive collection of them as well, but Chelsea Blue Designs is the original designer and distributor of these turner bases, so I thought I would get my hands on some and give them a try finally, after I've pretty much sold her out of every size of tumbler insert she makes. Now, my original plan was to upgrade my original two turners that my old man and I built out of rotisserie kits and some wood many moons ago. I do have a triple turner from another company that I use, but I'm trying to streamline my workspace to be a little bit more efficient in 2021, and these two wooden turners that I've made are very, very bulky and take up a lot of space. So my original intention was to convert those rotisserie kits off of the wooden bases and onto these. You'll see in a minute why that didn't quite work out for me. So instead, we are going to be building this turner base with a 240 volt gasmate motor that I got from Bunnings, and we will go ahead and do that now. So these are the old faithfuls. These were the first turners that I ever had. My old man and I made them. We were using the old Jumbuck kits, which is why I bought the turner kit that was suitable for the Jumbucks, but it turns out that we can't use these anyway. The whole point was to try and minimize my workspace so that I can streamline a little bit better in 2021. So my original intentions were to take these apart and use these motors on the new tourniquets, but when we've put them together, my dad's actually araldite the rods into both of them, so we can't actually get them out. So change of plans is now to possibly shave the turners down to where the support brackets are to save all this space and try and have it a little bit more compact, but still use them when I need to. And then I went and bought two of the gasmate motors and one of the rotisserie rods on top of that, which is now what we're going to use with the new Chelsea Blue Designs tourniquets. And these are the tourniquets from Chelsea Blue Designs. Now, this one I've already put together just so I kind of knew what I was doing. Here's the power cord to prove that I am using an electric one. Personally, I wouldn't recommend a battery one. A, you're going to go through batteries like there's no tomorrow, and B, the last thing that you want is for your batteries to die in the middle of the night when you have a cup turning and it's not quite set enough to turn your turners off yet. So personally, I would recommend getting the one that plugs into the wall, because worst case scenario, your power's going to go out, but at least you know that your power's out when it goes out. With batteries, it's a little bit harder to tell when you're asleep in bed. So this one's already been put together. This was put together exactly the same as this one, with only one minor difference, which I will go into when it's time, but it's to do with the rod. Okay, so I'm just going to move this out of the way just to give me a little bit more room. So when you buy your tourniquet from Chelsea Blue Designs, you get to pick which colour you want. I picked blue and purple for mine. This is the turner base, and then you'll get these two pieces with it as well, and all this put together is what creates that turner that you just saw there. Now, the cool thing that I like about this especially, which is a huge upgrade from the wooden ones that you just saw, is this part here actually has a bearing in it. So as it turns with the rod, it's not going to be like metal on plastic grinding. It's actually got that rotating bearing in there, and I thought that was a really cool little upgrade that she added from her original ones as well. So let's get started, shall we? You'll need your turner base, and as I mentioned, these kits are $50 each. as they are with no motor or anything. The more you buy, the cheaper they do become. I bought 2 at a time, so mine came to $45 each instead of $50. You will need your motor. I'm using the Gasmate motor that you get from Bunnings, and you'll also need like the rod bit that goes into the motor. This is the motor, and it comes exactly like that out of the box, right? There's no little rod that goes in there, no brackets, no nothing. You can buy the kits that have like the full rotisserie kits that have the rods and everything included as well. That's actually what we used for the wooden ones that you just saw. I bought 2 kits because the old Jumbuck kits you could pick up for $50 each. So I thought that they were a pretty good deal. Now I find if you're making 2 or more, doing it this way is actually going to work out a lot cheaper than buying 2 full sets. Is if you buy the 2 kits, the 2 motors, and 1 of these, right? It is the big long, it's like a big long metal stick with a handle on one end. Now it is for 4 to 6 burner barbecues, so when you buy it, it's really big. On one end it has a black handle. If you twist that handle off and spin it around the other way and twist it back on again, you actually get a little bit more length to your rotisserie rod, and you can actually get 5 cuts out of 1 rod. So instead of going and spending the extra money to buy all of the rotisserie kits that have the rods, if you buy the motors and then just buy 1 of these, you can get 5 rods out of 1 of these, and I think this cost me like $17, so it does work out a lot cheaper. Now the difference that I was talking about between this one and the blue one, on the end, because this is the hexagonal rod, on the end of this shaft before I started to cut it into pieces, it was already tapered down, and that tapered down part fits straight into the motor. Now what I found with this second piece is, because it wasn't tapered down, I actually had to use, if you can see, I had to use my Dremel just to shave it down just a little bit. I did it bit by bit and then just kept checking to see if it had fit, just to knock those really harsh edges off the hexagon. And now that fits in there quite nicely and quite sturdy. Okay, so if you're doing it this way, make sure you have like access to a little grinder or something, just so that you can shave down your rotisserie rods. But the first one, because it's tapered, you won't need to do that. Okay, so you got that, you got your Gasmate motor, you got your rotisserie rod, and then you just need, I've got a variety of screwdrivers. This one I found worked all right for the top 2 screws here, but getting into this bottom one here, I ended up using a tiny little precision one because I could fit that in that way and get it on tighter. So just have they're all Phillips heads, but just have a variety of different sizes and see what works out for you. So putting it together, there is, what, this way, nope, there we go. Okay, see this gap here between this part and this part? There's a gap here. You want to slide your front bracket bit in that part, okay? But what we're going to do first is unscrew sorry guys, I'm all hot and sweaty and bothered, and there was supposed to be rain coming, but at the moment it's just really, really humid. So I'm all slippery and sweaty and gross. So I'm just taking all 3 of these screws out. Now on the other side of this plate is the spacers, which I'll show you in a second. Just going to end up with 3 screws and 3 spacers. Okay, now this part that I was talking about, the plate, slides in there like that. I might move the camera up just a little bit so you can see. Now, the first bit that I do is get, dropping everything everywhere now. Okay, I want to get one spacer, one screw, and put that in the bottom like that. Now this is the screw that I did have problems with on the first one, which is why I brought this one in here today. Because I tried using the other little one that I had with the last one and it ended up going in sideways and all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. So that's on there. Now same again. I'm going to get a spacer and a screw. Line that up. Just going to twist that in a little bit. I'm going to do the same to this last one. All together so it's nice and tight, and it's not going to wobble everywhere while the cup's on They still will get a little bit of movement, but it's not gonna fall out, right? That is nice and secured now. So now we want to put the next bits together. So with your tourniquet, you will have gotten a little bit that looks like this, which goes on this side, and your cup attachment rod, which goes on the other side. So get your rotisserie rod piece. Now whether it's the bit with the taper on it or whether you've had to do it yourself, whichever end is not as, like whichever end has got the taper on it, you want to thread it with this part first through here and through this part. So you've now got, I'm just going to move you closer so that you can see. You've now got this bit here on the inside, and we're then going to push that into our rotisserie motor. Okay, so now that's all together. We're going to move this back up. I'm trying to get... You want it so that it's close enough up against this part that it like you want it clamped down pretty tightly. So it's got to be close to this part without actually touching it, because if you have it right up against here like I do now, you're going to get plastic on plastic. Not only is it going to be really, really noisy, but it's going to wear down over time and you're not going to get the most out of it. So maybe if I put it this way, you'll be able to see. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to move it around so I can see the damn screws and put it out just so it sits slightly, ever so slightly, out from this plastic base so that it doesn't rub. And then I'm going to... Hey guys, so I'm just cutting into the video because I finished filming, put the toner together, thought I was finished, sent it to Deanna to have a look at before I posted publicly, and she told me that I put one of the bits on the wrong way around. So, you'll see for the rest of the video, this bit here is back to front, but I thought I'd just splice the video here and show you how to put it on correctly, so you don't get to the end of the video and go, oh crap, we've done it the wrong way. So this bit still goes through here like that, but instead of putting it on this way where these prongs face towards the motor, these bits actually sit inside the bearing like that, right? And then we still want to pull that out just a little bit so that this part isn't rubbing against here. So if I show you, see how there's still a little gap? So before you go any further, yeah, just make sure that you turn this bit around so that the plastic prongs are actually inside this bit and not the other way around. Okay, we will continue. Okay, as I was saying, once you have it not so close up to the base, we're going to get our screwdriver and we're going to screw these two screws in nice and tight. When you are if you're using the hexagonal rods, please make sure that your screws are going onto one of the flat edges and not one of the points. Just going to keep tightening them until I physically can't anymore. And now that is on secured, but if you can see, it's not quite, it's not quite up against this part, which is what we want, close but not quite touching. So that is ready there. And then if I turn you back this way, put my screw back in. Breathe, Laura. Okay, there we go. So the last bit has just one screw. So I'm going to slide that on there. And same deal again, you want it as close as you can get without actually touching this part. And I'm going to screw that in. It does get trickier the closer that you get to the rod, but just keep going until you really can't physically turn that screw anymore. You don't want to do that too much because you don't want to thread your screw either. But that is now all put together. Now, I did have an example rod. What did I do with it? I've lost it. So we shall use this one instead. Okay, move you guys back again. So once that's all together, you'd simply connect your normal 3/4 inch attachments to your base. Then we'll get this plugged in. Reach the power point, of course it won't. There we go. So that you can see, I'm going to angle it down so that you can see the rod rotating, but I am going to switch it on. And away we go. So, to recap again, while we just make sure that this is all level, you will need the Chelsea Blue design base, which comes with the two attachments to get your turner essentially all set up. You'll also need the 240 volt, where's the box? The motor. And if you're making more than one and you want to save some money, get the universal rod, right? Because that can be cut down into 5 pieces. If you are only making one and you only want one because you're only just starting out, Gasmate do sell a whole kit. I think it's about $70 or $80, but it comes with the motor and the rod. So if you're only making one, it's definitely cheaper just to go ahead and buy the kit. But if you're making more than one, look into doing it the way that I've just done it. Otherwise, that is our Chelsea Blue design turner. I should be able to... Nope, it doesn't do it on these ones. Okay, so at the moment it's going anti-clockwise. If I turn it off, and on again. There we go. It goes the other direction. So the Jumbuck ones, I used to be able to just pull it in the direction that I wanted it to turn. The Gasmate ones apparently is a switch operated. So if you flick the switch on and off really quickly, it will change directions. But these do go both ways. Well, thanks for joining me. That's my tourniquet. Or rather, turner kits from Chelsea Blue Designs. And you can see that they're put together exactly the same way. This one I've already used once, which is why you can see all the glitter on the base there. And they are quite sturdy. I have put, on this one so far, I've only tried it with a stemless glass and a 20-ounce skinny. And the weight of both of those went really, really well on this. It didn't grind. It was nice and quiet. And I didn't have any issues with it at all. So the more that I put them through the ringer, the more I'll have to say on them. But as for this one so far, I have tried a couple of different things on it, and it has been able to stand up to the weight and the size of the 20-ounce skinny. Otherwise, I think Chelsea Blue Designs is now closed, or is about to close for the holidays. So if you want to get your hands on one of these, please wait until after the new year and log on to her website, and they should be relisted. Otherwise, just message her page on Facebook in the meantime and have a chat to her if you have any questions. Otherwise, I am looking forward to getting a couple of more of these, and then my poor old faithfuls, I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to do. I think I might just shave them down and try and make them about the same size as these, and then I'll have 6 of these plus my triple turner, so I should be right for 2021. Otherwise, I will catch you next time, guys. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I am very, 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 very close now to reaching my goal of 250 before the end of this month. So thank you for your ongoing support, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!